Mm. How's this worked?
While I had only just escaped the stronghold, I sensed that in time my journey would return me full circle to this place.
No shit, Sherlock. There's only so much map at the end of this.
Feat. The balcony that had provided my escape was now well beyond my reach, leaving this massive gateway as the only means of entry. The gates were sealed, but like the time-streaming chamber I had seen earlier, their operation was undoubtedly linked to that odd crystal mounted above the entrance.
Ah, my main browser on Twitch has stopped. I'll just get that restarted again. If it will. Nope, I've managed to freeze this again. So it's still struggling with alt tabbing. Actually, that's probably because I haven't set the task manager properly either. We'll quickly restart and then remember to set the task manager. These are things I'll do to get a game to run. If it'll run, come on. Yes, you say that every time I load in. Details, I think. Ah, interesting. It is already set there. So this must be in the main game then that it struggles. So don't auto-tab when I'm in the main game. That makes sense. Ah, I didn't want to press that. Damn it all.
Where?
Where am I? Back at the beginning where I don't want to be. By the way, the bluing is the result of the active shaders being run, just to make the game watchable. Load game. There we go. Without them, you can't see above underwater because the game doesn't remove the old frames out.
I had
as at the
only
end.
just escaped the storm.
So they start superimposing over the top of each other.
My journey would return me full
It does that
circle
with
to this
any,
place.
well, anywhere where it's got a bluing
Infiltrating
effect,
the
like
fortress,
when the two
however,
solar
would be no
units move,
small
that kind of thing.
feat. The balcony
Which was
that
making
provided
swimming
my
underwater
escape was now
impossible,
well beyond
but
my reach,
that's sorted
leaving
now
this
with the
massive
shader pack.
gateway as the only means of entry. The gates were sealed, but like the time-streaming chamber I had seen earlier, their operation was undoubtedly linked to that odd crystal mounted above the entrance.
Ah, damn it all. Not my favourite weapon in this game, but we'll take it. How do I look around? What did I bind look around to? I bound look around to something, didn't I? Or did I forget and I'll have to do it afterwards? Yeah, I'll do it at the next save point, I think. Right, finally, a head lobber. I don't see that. Hang on. Options. Configure keyboard. Block, autoface, panel power. Look around, left shift. Ah, I didn't bind it. Yeah, I'll have to have a look for that afterwards. But as I said, next save point, save having to go all the way back to that one again. And I want to reverse that as well. There. Save point up there. Maybe. Whoops, come on.
These vampires had nothing in common with the deranged jackals I left behind in Kane's derelict empire. They seemed to retain much of their former humanity. In this era, vampires were clearly not the uncontested predators we had been. These creatures were hunted mercilessly and oppressed. And while I still believed that vampirism was a plague and had to be wiped out, there was nothing noble or righteous in this crusade. This was simply ruthless persecution.
That's help. Get in there, editor. Get a horrible feeling this will just spring back, but let's find out. No? Aha!
pillars of Nosgoth, pristine, whole, and uncorrupted. I had never beheld them in this undefiled state, yet something profound and indelible resonated within me at the sight. And there, waiting at the very heart of the pillars, was the canker that was destined to destroy them.
I know you're there, Raziel.
Mobius led me to you, Cain, though I might have guessed you'd meet me here.
And if Mobius told you I was hidden on the underside of hell, would you throw yourself into oblivion to pursue me?
Yeah,
Mobius
yeah, he would.
trawls
Raziel,
for the
just
ignorant
not
and
the
unwary,
smartest
hauling
person
his
ever
gasping
been around.
prey from the streams of their destinies. Stay out of his net, Raziel.
Spare me your elaborate metaphors, Cain. I have pursued you here for one purpose. You will pay for your betrayal, and balance will thus be restored to Nosgoth.
And whose will is satisfied then? The will of Raziel or Mobius?
Would I be better manipulated by you, Cain? Now, turn and face me. The chase is over.
This isn't a chase, Raziel. We are merely passengers on the wheel of destiny, describing a perfect circle to this point. We've been brought here for a reason. I've seen the beginning and the end of our story, however, and the tale is crude and ill-conceived. We must rewrite the ending of it. You and I.
Face me, Cain. Even you shouldn't die a coward's death.
Isn't it customary to grant the condemned a final request?
I recall no such courtesy from you.
Indulge me, Raziel. All I ask is that you listen. This is the sublime moment of our undoing, Raziel. The ineffable fulcrum upon which swings the entirety of our history. This is where all of Nosgoth is betrayed. In this instant, Ariel, the Balance Guardian, is murdered by dark forces bent on overthrowing the pillars. Her spirit is just now tearing free, lost in the ether, trying to find its way here. You have already seen how she comes to haunt these pillars.
Bound here by your refusal to die. You are the reason this land becomes diseased. As long as you remain alive, you condemn Nosgoth to an eternity of decay.
Be still, Raziel. See this. As Ariel dies, I am being born to take her place as Balance Guardian. Such is my destiny.
My God.
At the moment of my first cry, Ariel's beloved, the Guardian Nupraptor, finds her corpse. Racked with grief and tormented by suspicions of treachery, Nupraptor plunges into a madness which overflows and infects all of the Guardians who are symbiotically bound, including me. The repercussions of Ariel's assassination were expertly calculated. The entire circle descends into madness, and I am tainted at the moment of my birth, instantly rendered incapable of fulfilling the role destiny has prepared for me.
Shall I show you the same mercy you showed the rest of the circle, then? You blithely murdered them to restore their pillars, yet your hand faltered when it came to the final sacrifice. What makes you exempt, Cain? You're merely the last man standing. Why condemn me for simply carrying out what you hadn't the courage to do yourself?
Let's drop the moral posturing, shall we? We both know there's no altruism in this pursuit. Your reckless indignation led you here. I counted on it. There's no shame in it, Raziel. Revenge is motivation enough. At least it's honest. Hate me, but do it honestly. 30 years hence, I am presented with a dilemma. Let's call it a two-sided coin. If the coin falls one way, I sacrifice myself and thus restore the pillars. But as the last surviving vampire in Nosgoth, this would mean the annihilation of our species. Mobius made sure of that. If the coin lands on the reverse, I refuse the sacrifice and thus doom the pillars to an eternity of collapse. Either way, the game is rigged.
We agree then that the pillars are crucial and must be restored.
Yes, Raziel. And that's why we've come full circle to this place.
So after all this, you make my case for me. To end this stalemate, you must die so that new Guardians can be born.
Pillars don't belong to them, Raziel. They belong to us.
Your arrogance is boundless, Cain.
What is that,
There's
Rose?
a third option. A monumental secret, hidden in your very presence here. But it's a secret you have to discover for yourself. Unearth your destiny, Raziel. It's all laid out for you here.
You said it yourself, Cain. There are only two sides to your coin.
Apparently so. But suppose you throw a coin enough times. Suppose one day it lands
On its edge.
I didn't know what impulse stayed my hand, why I had so willingly allowed Cain to escape me when I had pursued him for so long. I had no reason to trust Cain after he had valued me so little, and yet I found myself intrigued by his words. I had been too cruelly used to so gullibly play his pawn, but if this world truly had secrets to divulge, I was determined to expose them.
Damn. Come back. Yeah, those controls are still a little sticky. I'll have to put the sensitivity. Well, the
From the moment of my
sensitive
arrival,
down, the
I had the
don't zone up.
constant and palpable sensation of being watched. Someone, it seemed, was keenly interested in my presence here. From the look of it, this door had been sealed for centuries. I began to realize it was no mere coincidence that I found myself standing here, beneath this winged figure with blue skin and cloven hands so like my own, and bearing this unique key.
This is only just occurring to you?
And so it was with a sense of gravity and trepidation that I unsealed that ancient door and crossed the threshold.
doesn't want me driving that then. Ah, down this way. Time to Raziel, dodge. The underbelly of the pillars.
As I entered the chamber, I sensed that it had been sealed for hundreds, perhaps thousands of years. And while this room was clearly built when the pillars were erected, I knew that no human hand could have shaped this place.
Hey, see
and that
point.
perhaps it had never been seen by human eyes. The surrounding murals depicted a winged race, their features so like my own, but beautiful, where mine were grotesque, and angelic, while mine were demonic. I tried to decipher these images. A great war, but with combatants like none I had ever seen. The pillars, raised by this winged race, who thus defeated their adversaries. The winged beings again, writhing in agony, apparently afflicted with the same bloodthirst I had so recently suffered. And throughout the chamber, inscribed everywhere, images of the Reaver itself. Was this what Cain had urged me to discover? I wondered.
Lies, Raziel. Do not be deceived.
My ancient benefactor. And I dared to hope we had parted ways forever. Your silence was refreshing, but it lasted. No doubt you have a conveniently inexpressible reason for your presence here.
Do not be insolent, Raziel. I am eternally present here and everywhere, now and always. I am the still center of the turning wheel, the hub of this world's destiny.
But perhaps not so omnipotent as you'd have me believe. Your hold on me appears to be tenuous. I no longer seem to need you. Yet I'm guessing you still need me.
This impudence is unworthy of you, Raziel. Do not forget that you have a task to fulfill here. You are indebted to me.
Indebted? You would have me show gratitude for a gift I didn't ask to be bestowed. Do you forget that you forced me to inhabit this vile carcass?
I restored you to yourself, Raziel. It was Cain who destroyed you. The very enemy you've just let slip through your grasp. Do not fail me.
I'm thinking
my
batter,
servant.
add lemon juice.
I serve no one.
Nice.
Not you,
Very
not
nice.
Cain, and not your lackey Mobius.
Mobius is my good servant. I have many.
And if I tell Mobius that he's worshipping a giant squid, do you think his faith will falter?
You have grown willful, Raziel. But beware. To embrace a serpent is to invite poison into your heart. Cain is a sinuous beast. He will seduce and deceive you. You pride yourself on your free will, yet you let that degenerate deter your resolve.
I harbor no illusions about his integrity, nor anyone else's. In fact, I am beset by manipulation on all sides. I merely seek the truth.
These are the fathomless truths, Raziel. The agony of birth and death and rebirth. This is the wheel of fate, the purifying cycle which sustains all life. Vampires are an abomination, a plague which leeches this land of its spiritual strength. They obstruct the flow of life and death. Their souls stagnate in their wretched corpses. But the wheel must turn. Death is inexorable and cannot be denied. Your destiny is irresistible, Raziel. You are my soul Reaver, the scourge of the vampires, reaper of their apostate souls. Remain steadfast. End the vampire's parasitic curse, and restore Nosgoth. Kain's blood belongs on your hands.
Kain indeed deserves to die for condemning me to this repugnant form. But if and when I kill him, it will be for me alone to decide.
Kain destroyed you without a flicker of remorse. He tore the soul from your noble corpse, and after you had served him faithfully for 1,000 years, he discarded you in the abyss on a jealous whim. Remember your rage, Raziel. Let it guide your hand.
Yes. Wow. Cool, save point. Let's go back to the main menu, because I know I can alt-tab in and out of that. Left shift. Although I'm thinking, let's swap those around. So my look's on my left hand side. Okay. And let's swap around those. Oh, I wanted to save that. No, it's locked up again. Kill. Yes, thank you. Well, while I'm here, let's put in some arrow keys. That might allow me to access the menu, maybe. Come on, you want to load in? I'm guessing it's the Endrio pack. Oh, while I'm here, let's drag the task manager across slightly. Almost. A little bit more. Let's see how much of the GPU you want to use. Actually, with the new Endrio pack, the GPU's down quite a bit. That's pretty good. Oh, I did not just click start game again, did I? One day I might pay attention to what I'm doing. But probably not today.
Where?
Where am I? In the screen I don't want to be. Sod off. Ah, yes, arrow keys do work. What did I bind enter to then? Can't remember. Let's find out. Enter. Enter. Ah. It's the select key. Cool. Oh, I didn't do the dead zone thing, did I? Oh, up next, save it. Hello, calamari, Sid. Whoops. Oh, not fighting you on the edge. I don't want to fall down. Well, think about it. I think that might be the direction I fall down anyway. Aha. Oh God, it's not the poisonous
I
things.
surfaced into a very different landscape. The
Has my
daylight
memory been
barely
corrupted by
penetrated
From
the dense
Software?
canopy of this forest. Here I discovered an ancient ruin, unmistakably one of Mobius's time-streaming chambers, but long ago sealed and abandoned to the encroaching swamp. I didn't currently possess the means to break this seal, but I thought in time that I might.
Prepare to die.
Ah, it's just really difficult to walk through. Ah, the coach is on the other key, remember that?
So, my lurking observer was exposed. The creature vanished when he realized he was discovered, but I caught a glimpse of him, and his features were distinctive enough. This was the vampire Vorador, the monstrous assassin depicted in the stronghold. Strange that a creature brazen enough to assault the Circle single-handedly would avoid confronting me. Very well. If Vorador would not come to me, I would go to him. But first I needed to find some means of reaching that terrace.
Come on! Dear, oh dear, oh dear. You'll never hit me over there. Ah, save point. Excellent. Right, let's get that dead zone sorted out. Okay. Have you fuzzed? You has fuzzed. Come on, any time today. I've only got another 40 minutes left. Yeah, there we go. Remember this time, load game, not start game.
There appeared to be a passage here, leading northward into the mountains. The opening, however, was obstructed and too high for me to reach. Perhaps later I would find the means to bypass these obstacles. My lurking friend was nowhere to be seen, but I found these ruins even more intriguing. I recognized these arcane symbols from the chamber beneath the pillars, and realized that this shrine, too, was sealed to all but the bearer of the Reaver.
Plan on picking that up yourself or just running past it? Hell, I can't even see where it is. I can't. Maybe if I drop my weapon. Aha! And then, what do we have A distinct lack of spawn point. Aha. Ah. Dead people. How many of these things are there going to be? Yeah, that was not. Let's try that with the soul lever. Aha, yes, that's a lot better.
Throughout this ancient shrine, murals depicted the winged race and the apocalyptic war against their mysterious and equally inhuman adversaries. These winged beings, it seemed, were not only the architects of the pillars, but of this enigmatic place as well. And just as in the pillar's chamber, this shrine was adorned throughout with imagery of the Reaver, depicted with the reverence of a holy icon.
Spiky. Right then, I need to be something terrible, so back in a sec. Right then. Do we go in there now or later? Later seems like the better bet. I can't see there being any way to reach it from here. There does appear to be a tunnel there, so... No! Ah, those. Huh. Okay, let's check the other side. Yeah, this looks suspiciously like going in circles. Maybe dropping down was a mistake. I swear it's something to do with that tunnel. Okay. Ah, that's what I was missing. I think that leads across to... So let's go that way. Yeah, good enough. Yeah, you're going to annoy me. Okay then. Or maybe it's just chainless and you don't need to go over there. Let's find out. No, I still need to be over there. Oh, those doors on the end? I think so. So maybe unlocking the other side first would be a good idea. Ah, there you are. Oh, weapon. Weapon. Ah, locked it behind the door. Not the cleverest thing I've ever done. These things are tough. Flashy weapon first. Ow. So take a wild stab in the dark and say, I'm going to have to shift again, so we'll put a weapon up there. That makes a lot of sense. Now I need sunlight. Come on. That didn't open. Why didn't that open? Oh, because it's meant to be eclipsed. Aha. Yeah, don't fall off. Be a tad silly. Yeah, I'm gonna have to increase that dead zone size. Gotcha. What just opened up? These aren't slidable, are they? No. Oh, this one says. Aha. Cunning. Oh, that was barely. Let's not fall down there yet until we work out what we're doing in here. Oh, okay, right. I think that was the symbol for balance. Downhole, I think.
As I neared the altar, I suddenly felt the Reaver quickening of its own volition. Just as in William's chapel, the balance of power tangibly shifted. Voracious and willful, the Soul Reaver was now in control, and I, merely its helpless puppet. The Reaver plunged itself into that mysterious altar, and devouring the energy that emanated from within, drained this place of its power. Thus sated, the Reaver released me, and I realized as I recovered control that these ancient shrines were forges, each purpose-built to enhance the Reaver with elemental power. Now I understood the purpose of the mysterious basins I had seen throughout my journey. They were elemental fonts, each attuned to a fundamental essence. When I forged the blade, every font in Nosgoth with the same elemental attunement was simultaneously quickened. The Reaver's enhancements were never permanent, but these fonts enabled me to re-imbue the blade by bathing it in the elemental energy distilled therein. Concentric circles, one eclipsing the other. I recognized this symbol from the door sealing that other ancient shrine, the one I had seen in the lake, outside the Sarafan stronghold. Perhaps now, armed as I was with the elemental power of darkness, I could return and gain entry.
You're a ragged excuse for a savior.
Vorador.
I see my reputation precedes me.
It does.
All good, I hope? I've been watching you since you emerged from that accursed stronghold. Strange that your arrival coincides with the corruption of the Pillars. But I'm wondering, are you the catalyst of these events? Or the answer to them?
I don't know what you mean.
I will speak plainly then. I distrust your origins, stranger. Seeing you crawl from the putrid depths of Mobius's keep makes me question your purpose here. And what should I make of your appearance? Not human, clearly, and more demon than vampire. And the Pillars. It is no mere coincidence that your arrival in that clearing heralded the Pillars' decay. And so I ask you plainly, are you the instrument of the Pillars' destruction, or their salvation?
Neither.
Very well. Let us look at the other side of the coin. I have followed your journey and watched as you blithely unlocked secrets that have been sealed and forbidden for thousands of years. The path you have been treading is open to only one being. You don't know what you are, do you?
I have been many things. If you find me ignorant, enlighten me.
What's the point? This world is beyond redemption. Let the human cattle have it.
I would expect better than meek capitulation from you.
Centuries of persecution have taught me well. 500 years ago, our race was nearly exterminated by the fanatical crusades of the Sarafan. And now the same sick drama unfolds again. In merely a decade, Mobius's cutthroat citizen army has nearly accomplished what the Sarafan could not. Vampires meddling in the affairs of men. Look where it's brought us.
What am I to make of these secrets I've uncovered, then? The depictions of the winged race, the Pillars, and the Reaver.
Fairy tales, boy. The delusions of an ancient culture clinging to hope long after the world had discarded them. Their bloodline trickled away, until only one of the ancients remained. sustained solely by obligation and his unfaltering faith in the old prophecies. But you see, even if you are who you appear to be, it no longer matters. You're simply too late. Janos Audron, the Reaver Guardian, the last of the Ancients, and my maker, was murdered by the Seraphan nearly 5 centuries ago. He alone would have the answers you seek, but his secrets died with him. I don't know how you've come even this far without his guidance, or without the Reaver, stolen these 500 years ago by the Seraphan. I'm afraid, my friend, that you and all of us are out of luck.
I had no less reason to trust Vorador than anyone else I had met. In fact, the ancient vampire was the most forthright being I had encountered thus far. If Janos Audron was the key to all this, then I would find him, and Mobius's time-streaming device would provide me passage. But first, I had to find a way back into the stronghold, and I suspected I would find the means within the lake's mysterious shrine.
There's one!
Where's the save shrine? Have I gone past it? Yes, and 2 legs, this one, thank you. Yeah, it must be this way.
Prepare to die. Prepare to die.
Cool, a chance to save. And that's that for now. I've got to tidy up the house. I will hopefully be on later on, but I'm not sure. I have to find out what's happening.